Hi, my name is Heather Feather. I'm the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today we are talking about free to choose. You have freedom. A lot of conversations I've had throughout my life have revolved around the concept of destiny or fate and the concept of free will. And this is actually a topic, I don't know, over the past year I've just been thinking about this a lot because I feel like there's been a veil lifting clarity for me on this topic, and I wanted to share that. The concept of free will would state that you have autonomy, you have the freedom to choose in each moment of now through your own will. You certainly, I would say, experience this quality of being as a two-legged with the concept that you are free and you can use your willpower and your freedom of attention to choose whatever perspective you want to hold on the life that you're living. You're welcome to choose proper perspective, that everything that's ever happened to you has been a gift to help you to remove your blocks to the awareness of love's presence and to recognize where judgment has creeped in and where forgiveness and love might need greater application. Oftentimes that is with the self. And you're also free and welcome to hold improper perspective, where you are in a space of judgment and separation and disdain for the lessons and the growth and the evolution that you naturally find yourself in the process of. The concept of destiny or fate, when I think about this, I've always thought that as a co-creative element here at Earth School, as a flesh costume haver, Heather Feather's going to say it that way, as I operate in this flesh costume in this particular play called Heather Mackey, I recognize that I have freedom every single day. I have the freedom of where I place my attention. I am literally choosing the actions that I will take, the words that I will speak, the way that I will hold my world, and I have infinite freedom in those choices. I understand that a lot of people, because I come from very low income and I come from non-privilege in many ways and privilege in other ways for sure, in this flesh costume, in this here now. So a lot of people will want to take that and be like, well, I didn't have free will about not getting an education. And it's like, okay, well, I also didn't have, I've got dead parents. I don't have anybody paying for my college education. But if I want that, guess who has the propensity and capacity to have that be a part of my reality? Me. I could work and then pay for college education if that was something that I thought would help me as a shaman, which I love to learn. I might go to college for the fun of it, but I don't think it necessarily helps my spiritual offerings and what I came to do as a teacher. So again, everything comes back to the way you hold it. The concept of fate or destiny, in my experience, is an experience that a two-legged has when their personage experiences a free will choice that was made in spirit before they took up flesh costume. So this is how I've come to understand that free will is always present, because before we say, ooh, I want to go down there and take up that flesh costume, those parents are really screwed up. Yes, that's going to give me exactly what I need to remove my blocks to the awareness of love's presence, because I'm going to judge my parents for most of my life as being the reason I have problems. And so that will really help me to overcome my judgments and take responsibility for my freedom of attention and how I hold my world. And so before we come in and take up that flesh costume, we as an individual entity, as a spirit, I believe, make some choices. Like, ooh, I could potentially marry this person here, or that person there, or this person here. Ooh, I could potentially die there if I stay awake and evolve very quickly. Or I could die there, or I could die there. Ooh, I'm going to move to Bali there, potentially. So as an entity, as a consciousness, I believe we make free will choices. And then when we come in, and we're still using our free will and our choices in our flesh costume, there are moments in our flesh costume when the decisions, choices we've made come into alignment with that choice to move to Bali, come into alignment with that choice to marry that person, come into alignment with that choice to die in that moment. And so what we experience that is, it becomes it's like, oh, this feels like fate. Oh, it feels like destiny that I met you. Oh, it feels like destiny that I moved to Bali. It feels like God's hand was in it. And I think what that is our hand was in it, but from a spiritual sight perspective. And there's something in us that recognizes that free will choice that we aligned with before we took up flesh costume and aligned with in a flesh costume feels next level, feels destined, feels, because it literally is on a soul level and on a flesh costume level, something that came into complete harmonious alignment to be a manifestation within the life. So then we can call that destiny or fate, or it feels like something larger had its hand in this. But the thing that's easy to miss is that, yeah, you're the one that had your hand in it. You used your free will to choose this option. And when you took up flesh costume, you continued to make choices that aligned with the option. And then when it manifested, it felt like almost like an echo of important alignment in the life. So it's like, wow, that felt super aligned. I mean, like, woo! It's all dropping through the levels in cosmic time. It must have been touched by spirit. Yes, your spirit and your free will choices. You do have the freedom to choose. You know, I mean, children ultimately are kind of doing what their parents are doing. Although they do have the freedom to choose to run away. I remember being a kid and realizing, even though I had like an amazing mother, but just the rebellion of a teenager and a double fire sign and what that feels like. I was like, you think you own me, but I'm free to run away. But my mom has never, when she was in her flesh costume, and I think even now outside of it, she has never been the type of soul that felt like she owned me. She's always treated me like I was my own independent self. But you get through this rebellious phase. So even though, you know, a child could run away, mostly they tend to do what their parents are doing. They tend to go where their parents are taking them, to that park, to that school, to that screwed up situation, whatever's going on there. And that can really feel, I think, for the little ones, it can feel like maybe they don't have as much free will choice. But they definitely always have free will choice as far as how they hold that. So many two-leggeds, when they become adults, they will hold their parents, grandparents, the people that reared them, responsible for so much of the dysfunction that they are walking in. And I understand that. I have had some very, very dysfunctional, separatist, fear-based teachers in my field and offering me teachings from even the point of infancy. I understand that. And it would be easy for me to say, you know, if that person hadn't betrayed me and my entire family when I was a child by doing this thing, I understand that. But ultimately, in order for someone to become a medicine, in order for someone to become a balm, in order for someone to become a solution to the toxic poison that is down here, the choice, free will choice they will make as an individual spirit before they choose a flesh costume is they will choose certain toxic teachers. And the toxic teachers will come in and be like, here's some poison. This poison is a teaching of we are separate and fear, false evidence appearing real, is real. And life can be a nightmare. And those that really wanted to be in service and really wanted to be a medicine person will have chosen with their free will choice lots of toxic teachers. Because an evolved being is more able to chew on toxicity and internally create the antidote to any given poison, the medicine, the salve, the balm, to any illness. Any diseased, lack of ease offering from another two-legged. So it's tricky in this realm because we can get down here and we can feel like victims and we can feel like we aren't free to choose. I wasn't free to choose being assaulted, being the means that I lost my virginity to. There are times when I've thought that and I've really felt like a victim. Like that's not how I wanted to lose, rape is not how I wanted to lose my virginity at 13, 12 years old, whatever it was. That wasn't how I wanted to lose my virginity. Now, at 45, I can say it obviously absolutely was. I mean, that fate, destiny moment was obviously a choice I made on a soul level that like, ooh, this will really cause me to believe in fear and separation. Imagine the medicine I'll hold if I can walk through that experience and still know that unification and love is all that has ever existed. and know my eternality and know that nothing like that can ever hurt me because I'm made of energy, and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And although my energy may change form, it may take different genitalia identifications, it may take different cultural identifications through the different lifetimes that I live, ultimately my energy can't be destroyed. It'll keep forming into different flesh costumes. And because it is eternal, none of that stuff really ultimately hurt me. They were just opportunities, gateways, lessons to recognize that nothing in all of cosmology can ever take unification away from me. I am unified with all the energy that ever is, was, or will be. Everything is comprised of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. There is an undulating blob of energy here. How can one thing hurt itself? How can one eternal thing hurt itself? If you really think about unable to be created or destroyed, that means eternality. That's what that means. It means always here. Not going to have more of it, not going to have less of it, always here. That's what energy is. Cannot be created nor destroyed. You are made of energy. Everything you've ever seen is made of energy. So if you really think about eternality, that murder, that rape, that nothing destroys you. Somebody can literally cut you up into a million pieces. Boom! You'll take up another flesh costume. Like, your energy can't go away. Now, the matrix that makes your personality, which the ego is very attached to, definitely can. But you're going to bring a lot of that matrix back in because your personality matrix is an energetic dynamic. So what I want to talk about is you have freedom. You always have. Any fate or destiny you've ever faced, I would say, is a choice that you made that before you took up flesh costume, and there was alignment in this paradigm. And so it felt weightier when you experienced the results of that choice. Ultimately, the question I'm always asking myself, and ultimately the question I'm asking you is, what are you choosing? What are you choosing? Are you choosing like, I'm unlovable, people don't get me? You know, one that I've loved to choose with a Scorpio Mercury is I'll never speak again. My greatest daydream throughout my life, aside from many times just to be dead from all the way I've held all the trauma of existence, has just been to be catatonic, to just be drooling in an insane asylum. It's like, oh, what medicine it would be to not have to do this tomfoolery where we pretend separation and fear and act like idiots. Can we just not do it anymore? It's so exhausting. But another component of that has just been the thought of recognizing that I am holding the experience as dark, traumatic, hard, troublesome. Now, I could write a long novel on all the reasons I've been a victim, on all the reasons that it is terrible to exist in this realm, on all the reasons that and that is a free will choice I would have made to side with disempowerment, to side with fear wins, to side with separation is real, to side with I'm not eternal, I can be hurt, and it really sucks. And I'm asking myself today, because I'm asking myself this all the time, and I'm asking you as well, are you choosing to hold your realm as one of empowerment, as one in which you are free, irrespective of what others do, to hold any perspective you choose? I think some of the most horrific experiences a two-legged could have would be a concentration camp. And there are people like Viktor Frankl, like so many that I've seen that have come out of these experiences, terribly tragic, traumatic, victimized perspectives could have been held, and instead they came out of that experience with the idea that irrespective of what Nazis choose, irrespective of what they do, they never had the power to control a compassionate focus in the individual's mind. In the individual, they can't take that freedom of choice. What are you doing with your choice? Are you choosing to see love? Are you choosing to see that you're lovable? Are you choosing to see that you're free? Are you using your free will to move towards the destiny you say you want? Are you feeling empowered? Today, I'm asking you what you're doing with your freedom, and I'm asking me too. Maybe choose well. Go to rarebirdmedicine.com, always services and classes posted there. Blessed be.